Now we're going to talk about Victoria Alonso. Now, this is one that I've been seen circulating quite a bit recently. There's been a lot of discussion, speculation, and discourse about what's happening, what this means, what are the ramifications for it. And so, Victoria Alonso, she's been booted from Disney. So now, I would describe her as the kind of she's a Marvel executive, kind of second in command, or second most important in terms of the MCU functioning, I'd say. Yeah, but she's been a huge part of the MCU ever since the first Iron Man. She's produced every single Marvel movie, so she's a massive figure in it. And yeah, she was Marvel's VFX and post production president. And so the reason for her firing got everyone like, oh, what's happened? Like, well, what's going on? Because she's been there for like, how long has it been? 15 years.
2008.
Yeah, around 15 years. So it's been a long time. So why are they firing her? Well, it's not due to VFX issues. And people were thinking that because the VFX have been dog shit, and
hell yeah,
there's been like a lot of all those complaints about overworking the staff and all this kind of stuff and not meeting deadlines and whatnot. And it's not about the quality of the movies either. What really happened, and the Hollywood Reporter is the one that announced this. She recently produced a film called Argentina 1985. And that was nominated for Best International Feature for the past Oscars that just went by. And so for the Oscars, she showed up with the Argentina 1985 crew and for that movie, while she didn't show up for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now, Argentina 1985, this is why it's an issue, is because that movie is produced by Amazon. And so she's in a full-time executive position with Disney. So it's a breach of her contract because, they pay her full-time and she works with them. She can't go and, make a movie with their competitors,
Yeah.
So you can understand why Disney would be angry about this. And further to that, Disney warned her about this several times because they knew about it before she officially got involved with that film. And so they're like, no, it's a breach of contract. You can't do that. And she's like, I'm going to do it anyway. But yeah, no. So they fired her now. And now Alonso's lawyers, they're going to sue Disney for this. And the lawyer claims that, the Walt Disney Company, they're facing serious consequences and that there is a lot more to this, to the story. That's to come. So it could get quite interesting and it could have quite big ramifications because this is a large role to fill up in terms of the MCU. And I was reading an article by Deadline recently, and Deadline, they were told that, Alonso, she was challenging to work with at Disney. And, one insider there, they cited how, Alonso would take days off to conduct her own personal affairs, such as reading, producing this movie, for example. And, it resulted in, to some degree, the, flooding of all these Marvel movies and TV series, pushing them back and then having to stack them. So you're getting one thing every month and stuff like that. Yeah. That was part of the reason. And so her involvement, she was significant in causing major theatrical release date delays. So I think all these things kind of boiled up to really Disney had no choice and they had to cut her off and be like, no, you're done. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this massive figure for the MCU, being fired, and do you think this is going to have an effect on the MCU moving forward?
To answer your second question, I don't think it will. I mean, it's just pretty much, next man up mentality. And I think Marvel's a juggernaut on its own. Kevin Feige can leave. Sure, the quality won't be as good, or the planning of the phases, direction, vision won't be as good, but we'll still be there and it'll still be a juggernaut, regardless who's in charge and who's pulling the strings. Yeah. I had to take a breath because I was talking for quite a while.
You were talking for quite a while.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, in terms of someone being, they are a big figure, but they're not Kevin Feige sort of level.
That would be huge.
That would be huge. Like if it's
Yeah.
Kevin Feige, that'd be huge because that's literally your puppet master.
Yeah, yeah.
Raven. But this is more of a, I want to say smaller role, but small role in terms of how big it is.
Yeah.
I guess a visual effects team can breathe a sigh of relief that they're not under the thumb so often being worked under pressure.
Yeah.
So hopefully this means that we'll get better visually looking quality from the MCU moving forward.
I hope so.
I'd probably say we won't see it until Phase 5 actually kicks off properly.
Yeah.
That's probably when we'll start to notice hopefully the rise and the enhancements in the quality of the films. I'm just trying to read what your first question was.
No, it was.
What are my thoughts?
I'm just Alonso being fired and her actions and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think I understand why she got fired.
Yeah.
It is a breach of contract, but it is like such a small thing as well to like get fired over.
Yeah.
And especially if Disney warned her like, don't do this, like there's gonna be consequences. But she ignore that, then she's just fucking idiot.
I mean, it's the main way to put it.
I mean, you were warned not to do it.
Yeah.
And you were warned of the ramifications, and you go ahead and do it, and then you want to sue the company that told you not to do it because it's a breach.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot,
Yeah.
God, it's like, how many times can you be told not to do something?
Yeah.
To like sink in.
Especially if it's breach of contracting. You sign a contract, both parties sign it, so it makes sense on Disney's part, and I get it. In terms of the implications this has on the MCU, I think you're right to a degree where it may not have a major. It's not Kevin Feige going, of course, but I do believe that this will change. It will change some things. I think it may change the culture of the MCU staff, and from all these reports we're seeing, the culture's not doing good. Everyone's overworked. It's too much, and so if they bring in someone that's good at juggling personalities and stuff like that, there may be a culture shift and may start getting like some good movies coming from that because happier employees are going to produce better movies. So it's just kind of like all workplaces really.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of visual effects and her work in that, we don't know how involved she is with that stuff, but there's a chance they could bring in someone that's like not as lenient and like, no, this looks like a PS2 game. We need to improve. Not just, okay, we're a week late. Like, yep, that's good enough. Like, no. I hope they bring in someone that can be like, this is too much content. I only have this amount of staff. They can't do it. Push back the movies. Stop that movie. We can't do it or it's going to look like this kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. There's more to the story apparently. So if Disney, if it does go to court and Disney gets sued, that could be very interesting.
It would, yeah.
Yeah, especially,
they'd have to have a good argument for a breach of contract. So
yeah, and it's funny you're seeing like all this stuff about how Alonso was like challenging to work with and stuff, and then appeared with this recent news of Jonathan Majors that there's still more story to come about that. Like MCU, man, there's it could implode, eh?
It's getting very DC,
I mean, that's the way to put it. Yeah, no, it is getting DC. But yeah, I hope that Disney can fix whatever's going on pretty soon.